Generation to Generation Cowboys and Sports Talk. My dad, my partner, my co-host, Cowboy Joe 64.
So that's the new one.
Yeah, when we live, so we
It's to
good.
get the Cowboys 2 good games to hopefully understand that they need to go receiver and go high with this next pick.
Yeah, yeah, that's really what this
You
is
got to
gonna
send me
be
the
about.
link.
All right, we back, y'all. So send you the link. It's on your. Just go to. I'll send you the link. It's on the YouTube, but I'll send it. So yeah, now what was you saying about Micah? I mean, T.J. Watt's contract.
So TJ Watt signed his new deal, 3 years, 123. So I was just saying it was odd that he did 3 years, but it makes sense because he's an older player. He's been getting injured a lot too, and he's been getting targeted, like Micah has been over the couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
and he gets injured. So, but now if you do the math, that comes out to $41 million a year.
Yeah.
So Micah's going to get 44, 45. So if Michael gets 4 years, 180 million. Now I think I saw TJ Watt has 103 million guaranteed. So
Mm-hmm.
again, what that means is Micah's going to get 110 guaranteed, 109 guaranteed. He's going to, come out uh, the top player of all time defensively, non-quarterback. That's going to happen. And so we have these concerns about Jerry and Steven paying players. It's just
Mm-hmm.
not true. They pay them, but they just
Yeah.
don't pay them at the right time. They don't do it in a way that it helps the team. So they pay their players. Send me the link or that you send it.
Yeah, I just sent it. Yeah, no, they don't pay. No, they pay their players, and that's what I was saying on the other video. I was saying to me, what you should be doing is the moment that you get a player that star-studded like that, you should be trying to figure out right then and there, how you gonna pay this player without affecting your bottom line or without it like totally destroying the team. I mean, they've known since day one that Micah was going to be a megastar. It's just like this, so it's no you're in this position because you put yourself in this position. Just like when CD came last year and he came late to training camp. He came late to training camp. That was their fault because y'all knew y'all was gonna have to sign him. Yet what were y'all banking on that he wasn't gonna be good anymore? Because that's what it sounds like. It's just like with Dak. Y'all repeatedly did this with Dak. Every time Dak bet on himself and he won. Every time. And it's just like they constantly do this to where they think that they draft these good players, but at the end of the day, they don't they ended up having to pay these players and then it bankrolls the entire organization to where it's just like, okay, well, we have to pay them all this money, so we can't do this or we can't do that. But other teams figure out a way to pay these players and still do everything. And then it's also the commotion and the drama behind not paying them, because when you don't pay them at on time, now you have the drama and the commotion about, you have these stories that come out, or he's doing this or he's doing that, and it comes to these, and they use it as negotiation tactics. Well, Micah, on the other hand, he's 10 steps ahead of them on all of that. They haven't been able to say nothing negative about Micah because because just like us, and I keep saying this, Micah is a regular person. He's closest to he's closest to a civilian as you're gonna get. And like I said, I've met him, so I know he's just like a regular person. So he thinks just like we think. Him and David Mulugeta, they know what they know exactly how to deal with the Joneses, and that's what you're seeing right now. That's what you're seeing when you see this right here that I'm about to play. Uh, when you see this, this is Micah knowing how to handle himself, and this is David Mulugeta knowing how to handle the Joneses.
This is the rabbit got the gun or the
The
lion
lion
got the
got the
gun
gun.
and yeah.
Right. That's what this is. So you're about to see this. I'm about to play this. That's what this is. Check this out.
How do you when do OTAs start? Are they already started?
We just finished OTAs.
OTAs are done, so
so
we're just waiting on
The next thing we do is report to camp.
report to camp.
Yep.
Right. So what's the strategy? I mean, I don't want to, just divulge what you can, but
Yeah,
are you gonna show if you're not signed or
yeah, for sure, for sure. Like I said, bro, like, um, the money itself is going to be there, and you know, to me, like I want to win a Super Bowl, bro. And
I
I
want
know,
you to win a Super Bowl. Believe me.
and I know, like first to win a Super Bowl, like I need to bond with these guys. Like I need to be around these guys. Like even from it's just so much more that goes into a leadership aspect.
hmm
And I just feel like it's my year to be a leader. And I don't want to be like my first year to be a leader. And I'm gone for 3-4 months. You know
Right.
what I mean? I'm gone for weeks at a time or I'm not present. So I want to be as present as possible. And the guys understand the contract situation. Everyone knows about that stuff. But you know what I mean? I just want to be there.
Yeah.
I need to gel with these guys. Like I need to build this camaraderie so we can win the Super Bowl. Even if ownership view it differently, but we need to be there, bro.
Yeah.
I like we hated that we missed CD Lamb all last camp.
Right.
And CD even tell you himself, like it's hard coming back after missing time. Like
Yeah.
so, I don't want that for myself.
So with that, I mean, how more real can you get? I mean, how more real can you get when it comes to stuff like that? I mean,
He has
he,
him over a barrel.
he has him over a barrel. And like I was saying earlier, what barrel is there to be over? I mean, he hadn't had them over a barrel. He's had them over a barrel this whole time. There is no more water in the barrel. They've been looking at this barrel since the day that they signed him. I mean, since the day that they drafted him. You knew this was going to be a point. You knew this was going to happen. This was going to happen.
That's not how they do business, though. They just have a goofy thing that they do. And that list that I sent you that our guy did, that we're going to look at here in just a minute. He's what he's talking about is I'm going to pull this up. What he's talking about is this is Dan Rogers. Oh, he goes by Danny Phantom. I couldn't think of it earlier. Yeah, he's a blogging and boys guy, right?
Yeah.
I
Now,
believe so.
yeah. Now, I rock with him, but I don't rock with the other Blogging the Boys, the leader of the Blogging the Boys.
But he's what he did. He sent out. He said we're gonna do an exercise, and we'll talk about how he's talking about why the Cowboys drag things out, and he wanted some fans to do a brainstorm, and why we believe they're taking so long to get these deals done. And so he's got a list. He says they want attention. They talk about that a lot. They want to spend more. They want their players to miss camp. Now, one that he mentions that I've heard, which is kind of a theory that's kind of gaining some steam, is they have their cash tied up in other investments. So we've heard that before. One of the reasons that they're doing this, but again, that's a conflict because they end up paying these guys and they pay them more. So they're not protecting their cash. And then the other one he had was they don't understand how the salary cap works. That should be number one. I've been saying that since we started our content, that one of their issues is they're just not good at the cap. They don't really understand how to manage it and how to use it. The Rams, the Eagles, the Ravens, the Chiefs, they have people that are masterminds at the cap, and the Cowboys don't. They don't have someone that's a mastermind or really understands the cap, and they're not trying to get there either. So that's why they are in the situation they're in with Micah. If they just knew what they were doing with the cap, this wouldn't be happening.
Yeah, this is true.
So that list that he had, I really like the way he put that together. I
Salute,
didn't really
Lou.
see any of the comments. Hey Lou, how's it going? But yeah, we just gotta keep it a buck and just say, Lou, that these guys don't know how to manage the cap. They're not curious about learning how to do it better. And they've got that guy whose name escapes me at the moment. He was the former restaurant manager, and he's the one that's been running their camp. What is it? Adam Pacifica.
Adam Pacifica.
So he's still there. I just knew this offseason, Adam Pacifica would be reassigned and replaced. He wasn't. So it's just real bizarre that they just keep doing this and understand they're going to pay him. We're not talking about a situation where Micah is not going to get paid. He's going to get paid. He's going to be the highest paid defensive player in the history of the league, above what TJ Watt just agreed to. So
Correct.
just understand that. So, again, it's just the way they do this, and it impacts the team.
Yeah. Now what? Now what's up, Brandon? How you doing, bro? He said. Brandon said Cowboys cost themselves like 8 mil a year because Jones needs his opening day. Guess who I signed story. And now you know what? My dad, he always says that. I always say this.
I don't
Uh,
believe it.
See, I always say this. I be like, cause you know what? Some of this stuff it does nothing else makes sense. I mean, it's just like so like to me, Brandon, it's just like I be telling my dad all the time, like, yo, I think it's a part of their contract structure. I think it's a part of the contract structure. I think it's a part of like
So you think they're doing? You and Brandon think they're doing it to get attention and clicks, and they get in the media exposure?
I think so. I think they have to be doing this. I think that they be like, okay, listen, Micah. Now they told him this weeks ago, months ago, like Micah, we're gonna sign you on August the 14th. Okay, that's when it's gonna go on to effect. It's gonna be for 120 whatever million right after TJ Watt or whatever signs. In the meantime, I need you to act like you're gonna do this, and this. I need
Mm-mm.
you to get these clicks. I need you to do
I
this, and
don't.
this.
I don't buy it.
Well, then it's just then we have idiots running the
I
organization.
think. I think you need to accept the fact you and Brendan need to understand that they have some idiots running the organization. That's just, it goes back to when they bought the team 30 years ago. You heard me say this on the show multiple times, and they've gone around it and around it. They've been around the rim, as they say. But what it just keeps coming back to is that there are just some things they're not good at. They're not good at putting a full roster together to win an NFC championship. They're just not good at it. They're gonna leave the running back room. They're gonna have the wide receiver by committee. They're gonna have the linebackers the year they did it. They don't know how to build a good team. Not say a good team, but a complete team. They're gonna take a position and just say we don't really need to fill that position. They're doing it. They're doing it this year with one tech. We've seen this movie before. So we
Well,
got to understand that they just they don't really know how to manage the cap. They don't.
it's some things that they don't know how to do, and then
And they don't want to learn how to do it either, Lou.
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, he helped create the salary cap, just like
Yeah.
he helped create the modern day NFL. But the thing about it is, when you talk about that, he has no upper leg on any of it. It's just like,
Mm-mm.
he helped create the salary cap, and it's been It's been his downfall since
Yeah.
he created it. So it's just like he
Well,
doesn't.
basically what he did, he created it, but other people took what he created. They took the model and they figured out a way to make it work and make it more efficient. Your general manager for the Eagles, whose name escapes me at the moment,
Howie Roseman.
Howie Roseman. People like that have taken his creation and they just basically created their own monster out of it.
It's just like with this is like with the punishment thing. You would think, as a Cowboys fan, you would think that like, oh, if a Cowboy player does something because of all of the power that Jerry and Steven had, the power that Jerry has, nothing's gonna happen. But it'd be like, no, Zeke gets suspended for nothing, and
Yeah.
Jerry does nothing about it. It is nothing. No one cares. I mean, it's just like you would think that like, oh yeah, like no, stuff can't happen like the Dez catch because Jerry is so powerful. But it's like, no, we're gonna just let them just cheat us, and that's just gonna be that.
So
Nothing's
all of
gonna
these
happen.
all of these sports, when you look at the NFL, the NBA, Major League Baseball, they have caps, but you have good teams that just know how to manage it. They just know how to
Hey,
to
Brandon,
manage it better.
Brandon, you on point. You made another great point. They always are like that. They always have one position that they're
Yeah.
behind each year, and they cannot address that position because they don't sign their players on time. Last year, it was running back. They had a perfect opportunity to get Derrick Henry and them right there. They could have. They didn't because they said that they didn't have enough money. They did.
Yeah.
This year it's going to be running back and one tech. They're gonna start the season with the one tech they got and the running back that they got. And you know what? If they would have signed Micah 2 weeks ago, we'd be shopping for a one tech right now.
Yeah. So again, they're not good at it and they're not curious to do it better. They like I agree with Lou on that. A lot of it is they printing money. So there's just no sense of urgency. But the rabbit got the gun. We talking about that? That's content creators. So now they have content creators like us, like Lou, Boss Cowboy, J Tuck. It's guys out here. We got the gun. We're the rabbit. So
Yeah.
the things they used to be able to get away with, they can't get away with it anymore. The information is out there. Just like you got Mike Fisher, Jeff Kavanaugh. You could hire Mike Fisher, Jeff Kavanaugh tomorrow to run the Cowboys cap. They could hire you and you could do it because it's the information is there. People know how to understand and manipulate the cap. One of my great follows is Outlaw Cowboy. He's finna start his channel, by the way. So shout out to Outlaw.
That's gonna
But
be great.
he was one of the first people that I saw that really broke the cap down and his work is just great work. But he shows you how easy it is to manage your cap, to get players, and do it in such a way that you have money, you have money left over to do things you need to do. And then you
No.
combine that with better drafting, and that's what the Eagles are doing.
So Jeff Kavanaugh, he's the one that broke it down to, for me, the easiest and the first person I seen, and he did it to where I could say what the Eagles have done in 4 sentences. What the Eagles have done is all of their top players, they converted all of their salaries to $1 million per year. That's what their base salary is, $1 million per year. And they put their signing bonus and they put their the guaranteed money 5 years ahead of time. So each player for the Eagles, they all making $1 million on paper on the cap, and they're all going to get their money 5 years later down the line. So when you do it that way, what you can do is you can sign 32 stars right now because they all agree that they're going to get paid $1 million this year, and they're going to get the rest of their money later when the cap goes up. But it won't matter then because the Eagles will have won 2 championships by then. So and that's just common sense. So, but Jerry and Steven, they're so caught up on we don't want to do what they're doing or whatever. It's like they're proud or whatever, but it's just like they don't have a clue about what they're doing.
And just think about it. Dak got his deal. CD got his deal. Micah's gonna get his. They're gonna sign Tyler Smith. He's gonna get signed. It's just a matter of when they do it. Is it gonna benefit the salary cap? Is it gonna take advantage of all of the rules, or they're gonna just do what they normally do. They're gonna drag it out, and then, and let's keep it in perspective too. So today is July 17th. So camp starts next week. Now, the danger for Micah is, you're at camp, and he's gonna feel like he's gonna take part in these drills. He shouldn't. He shouldn't do it. What he should do is suit out. He's gonna be at all the meetings. He's gonna be,
Yeah. Pickens gonna get a deal. Pickens gonna get a deal. And then, but what I'm gonna say about that is Pickens gonna get a deal because of the production that it's gonna bring this year. You're not gonna be able to go without it. But also, I'm gonna say this: Trayvon Diggs is gonna be gone, and DaRon Bland probably won't get a deal.
So we're gonna talk about Diggs here. So we found out today that the Cowboys decided to fine Diggs for not attending their, rehab sessions.
500,000.
So that's not going to sit well with Diggs. But I tweeted out with somebody today that I'm not really concerned about Diggs mentally because I think Micah, CD, and Dak, they're gonna have Diggs, head right when the game starts. And then you got to realize too, Diggs is somewhat auditioning for other teams, so he's not gonna go out there and just lollygag around. When he's ready to play, he's gonna play. Now, I will say this should also mean that he doesn't rush back, so he doesn't have any reason to. So when he does come back,
I don't think he's rushing back. I think he just ready. I don't think he's rushing back, but also I don't think, like, me personally, I don't think that Trayvon is like trying to like in my mind, in his mind, I feel like he think that his 85% is everybody else 100%. So I feel like, like how he had that picture or that video out there the other day with him covering that guy. It's just like, Trayvon, listen to me, brother. If you go out there against the NFL's top 10 receivers looking like that, you're gonna get toasted. They're gonna tear your ACL again. So it's just
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying? You got to
Why do these guys put these videos out? What is that? What is going on with that? And you
it's
saw
content,
Guyton
it's
out
it's
in the rain the other day.
it's
Why are
it's
you doing
content.
that?
It's content. It's NIL money. It's
So
name,
it
image,
is
and likeness.
clicks.
Yes, clicks for sure. You gotta have it. You know what I'm saying? If I get Trayvon Diggs to post this video, I'm gonna get clicks. He gonna get clicks, and the other person gonna get clicks. So what?
That's the answer.
That's the
Yeah,
answer.
and I hadn't even thought about it that way. But
Yeah,
yeah,
if I
Diggs.
yeah, if I post him,
hmm
he blessing my game because I get to get these clicks, and then I'm also blessing his game because he get to get the clicks.
What I remember about Diggs last year is, and you knew he wasn't right because now, I think he played his best game was against the Giants to start the season. He did really good against your guy, Neighbors, I thought. But he had some games where he was just off. I know we played the Ravens and we fought back into that game. We got down early and came back.
Mhm.
Well, they won the game. They just ran an out, a simple out, and Diggs was covering, and he couldn't. The old Diggs, he knocks that ball down. I think he picks it off,
Well, let's
but
also
he couldn't get there.
yeah, right. He couldn't get there. Let's also look at this too because we got to look at this. When Trayvon was 100% healthy, right? When
Mm,
he was 100% healthy, that year that he won the what is the Patriots game for us. We was on
yeah,
our way back from Houston, right?
yeah.
So that game that season right there. So Trayvon was his healthiest. We were all talking about how half of the time that he wasn't on top of his game, it was just like, yeah, if it wasn't for him having these 7 and 8 interceptions, he'd be getting toasted all game because that's just the way he played. He played, what's up, JVB boy? That's just how he plays. He plays like, he undercuts these routes. And so it's like, yeah,
Yeah, he
he, I,
gambles, so he
he
gets beat.
right. So out of ten plays, he might get beat on 5, and the other 5 he'll be in perfect position. But on 3 of those 5, he might get a pick. If you throw it in
Yeah,
his vicinity, he's gonna catch it. So it's just like you know, what we're seeing now is we're just seeing the bad side of that because he's
yeah.
not as fast as he used to be. So that
Man,
that part of his
look,
game is being taken away from him.
yeah, we've talked about this. Everybody that had knee surgery, including me. I mean, it takes you a year, 2 years. You playing in the NFL, it's just so much, turk on your knee, and then these videos that they're showing, they don't really show what's happening, the next day when you're sore. And so, my thing is, I hope he just takes his time. When he comes back, he needs to be, good enough to where he just feels comfortable being out there because he is getting fined.
I
But
mean, I'm just be 100 in my mind, Trayvon Diggs. When I talk about the cornerback role on our team this year, I don't even look at Trayvon Diggs as a factor at all. I just gonna be 100. I don't look at him. Of course, when he comes back, whether it's game 6 or whether it's game 7, I'm gonna be proud that he's on the field and he's
yeah,
playing. But like as
well,
far as like trying to I'm not looking at him like I'm looking at Overshown or how I'm looking at anybody else coming off of the injury because I know for a fact more than likely he's not going to be here next year. He auditioning for another team, and then to see that he got fined by the Cowboys, they not even really. And from my understanding, they find him knowing that it's just because he wasn't with their training camp. I mean, they're with their training facility, so it's not to say that he's not getting better. They just
mhm,
find him because they said that you didn't do what we told you to do. You didn't work. You didn't rehab with the people that we told you to rehab with. We don't care that you don't like Britt Brown. That's who we want you to rehab with. And if you don't, we gonna fire you. So to me, that's not all inclusive, or that's not having your players back. If you ask me, if I was the owner of a team and I said, all right, well, you don't like Britt Brown, that's who we working with. Now we can find you, but as long as you getting better with somebody else, and we can monitor that, and we can when you come in and test, you are where we think you should be. We're not gonna find you for that. Yeah, JVB boy, they fined him 500,000 for not working with for not going through rehab with Britt Brown.
yeah.
So it's just
So
like,
yeah,
I mean, but they find him. So it's just like, so what? Y'all didn't even. So what if he is doing better and he just wanted to go with his guys because he has beef with Britt Brown? Why don't y'all, as a Cowboy, as a multi-billion dollar franchise, say we got a star player over here to show him that we care about him? What we gonna do is we gonna let him rehab with whoever he want to rehab with, or we gonna employ somebody else different than Britt Brown that will rehab him. Because I mean, it's just like, why would we just say, you know what? We don't care about what you think. We don't care about who you rehabbing with. You gonna rehab with who we say you gonna rehab with, or we gonna find you. That to me, that's
Yeah.
not fair.
So when the players did the annual player survey, the Cowboys scored low on that, and the issue is not just with Britt Brown. The issue with the Cowboys is they don't have enough trainers. If you're a player, they just feel like they don't have enough trainers to get that one-on-one attention. And so that's another reason why these guys go, to somebody else, and then they go and hire guys like the guy that Trayvon is training with, is rehabbing with. I'm sorry. He's just one of the top rehab guys, in the nation. That's what they do. They go out and they hire these guys.
And so you gonna disrespect him like that? You know,
Yeah.
good and doggone well. Shout out to you, Uncle Charles. You know, good and god doggone well that Trayvon has to pay top figure millions of dollars to get this guy, and then you gonna
Yeah.
charge him another 500,000? Yeah. Now, if I was Trayvon and I didn't want to come back at the begin with, I really wouldn't come back now. I'll come back.
No.
I'll come back in game 10.
So Savon Revell, I agree with JV B-Boy. I've been saying that the Cowboys, they're going to be a second half team, and the reason for that is it's Diggs, Revell. They're just not going to be ready to play. I think they're going to get better the second half of the season. So our starting corners is going to be Bland, Elam, and it's probably going to be you got Izzy gonna play a role. Wanye is gonna play, so they're gonna piece it together. But no, Revell, I hadn't heard about his high school injury, but the knee injury is not no joke. I've had knee surgery, so and then you just don't want these guys to come back, try to rush back out. Hey, you guys, who is the fitness and conditioning coach for Dallas Cowboys? I don't know who it is. They just hired a bunch of coaches, but so in the 90s, since we was talking about that earlier today, they had the top conditioning guys at that time, and
So I don't mean to interrupt, Uncle Charles. The Dallas Cowboys' current strength and conditioning coach, strength and conditioning coordinator is Harold Nash.
And I'm kind of familiar with that name. But no, the rehab guy is the one that's getting the criticism, not the conditioning guy. So the rehab, they don't have enough rehab guys. So most teams have a certain amount of rehab people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is another area where you can say that they're trying to be cheap because they just don't have enough guys.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been the issue.
JVB boy, do you think we need to sign at least 2 more players? Put it in the comments. What you think? Do you think we need to sign at least 2 more players? That's what Uncle Charles asked you.
Do we need to sign? Well, I think if I were the GM, I would sign 2, 1 techniques, and then I would sign a corner. Gilly, you got some better names you think than Gilly, but we need another corner, and so we need. I would sign 2, 1 techs. The 3 tech room is really stacked. They got several players in that room, and they need to do the same thing with the 1 tech. That's what I would do. I would sign 2.
Now I was looking at
Roquan Davis or whatever his name. He's out there. I saw something on him today, but they haven't brought him in. But I think they need to trade for a 1 tech. That's what I would do.
Speaking of that, I was looking at this list yesterday, and it was saying each team a player that each team should trade for, and I'm trying to find that. It was on Bleacher Report.
So the player that we've been talking about is DJ Reader.
Yeah,
so he's kind of got a contract situation. Now there's a player for the Colts that played with Eberflus. His name is it'll come back to me here in a minute. So that's another guy that they should target. He plays for the Colts. Let me see if I can pull it up. But yeah, you got a couple of people that they could just make a trade for.
Yeah, so I was looking at this list, and I was looking, of course, now when it comes to us, I'm gonna see they put on here for us. They put for us to trade for Let me see. I always pass it. I think it was Gilmore that they wanted us to sign. I don't think it was a trade per se. But anyways, I was looking at this list and I was just trying to see the running backs on this list and the defensive tackles on this list. That's what I was looking for. So it says for us, it says that we should add a veteran cornerback. And it says the Cowboys have some uncertainty at cornerback heading into training camp with Trayvon Diggs and rookie Siobhan Revere coming off torn ACLs from last season. While the addition of Kyer Elam can help, he struggled to see the field in Buffalo last season. So Dallas should explore the idea of trading for a veteran cornerback with starting experience to help bridge the gap until Diggs is ready to return, or it could add a nickelback to replace Jordan Lewis, who signed with the Jaguars in free agency.
They're not
Now,
they're not going to make a trade. They just need to sign a veteran corner.
yeah. Now they were saying that the running backs on her that I was looking at, the first one was Kenneth Walker the third. It says that
Seattle.
I'm talking about, man, and I wanted to say and it said Travis Etienne. Okay, so it says Travis Etienne. It says Tank Bigsby was the Jaguars' leading rusher last year, and the organization spent a fourth round pick on Bashal Tootin. That's the guy from Virginia, the real fast short guy, during the draft. That signals Etienne's time in Jacksonville is nearing an end, especially since he's entering a contract year. Given the offense's depth at running back, getting some in return for a player who likely doesn't have much of a future with the team would be a smart investment. They should look at trading for Travis Etienne. That'll be a running back that we need. You pair him with Blue and Javonte Williams, and you good to go.
And
You flipping
yeah,
that.
and I've never liked him myself. I didn't like him at Clemson.
But
Um,
now the second one is Kenneth Walker the third. It says Walker is entering a contract year and has a declining production since his rookie season. Meanwhile, Zach Charbonnet was more efficient in 24, averaging half a yard more per carry than Walker. Also, Damian Martinez has the
mhm.
making of being a steal and is as a seventh round pick. The
Oh,
Seahawks
we should have drafted him.
we should have drafted him. It says the Seahawks might want to see how the running backs look in training camp before completely being comfortable making a move. But especially if he doesn't have a future with the club, getting something in 2022 second round pick wouldn't be a bad idea. Let me tell you something. If they get Kenneth Walker the third, we can we can cash our check into the NFC Championship if
You
everybody.
like him that much?
He's my sleeper pick every year in fantasy as far as running back goes. He's my sleeper pick every year.
What about his injury? Because he injured a lot.
Yeah, but he one of those players that he play like that, like Debo. It's just like, yeah, you know he gonna get injured because he just plays so hard. But if he not injured, if he playing like on my fantasy, when he playing, I'll start him. Or he's always
Yeah.
gonna be my flex because you know for sure he the type of running back that if he get like, down to the 10-yard line, the goal line, ain't no stopping him getting in the end zone.
He kind of reminds me of your guy from Tampa, Bucky.
Yeah. Yeah,
He kind of reminds me of him a little
you know
bit.
what? We had a segment about this. I was talking about how the running backs are so non-conventional or non like how like they can take a slot receiver from college and make him into a running back in the NFL like Kenny Walker and Bucky Irvin.
Yeah, he's a he's more intriguing to me than ATN. So the defensive tackle that I was talking about from Indianapolis, his name is Grover Stewart. So
Robert
check him
Stewart.
out. Yeah, he's a one tech. So that's a target right there. You got to look at some of these teams that they're kind of they're trying to rebuild but also win and get draft picks. So those are the kind of players you want to look at. Somebody like Grover Stewart or DJ Reader. We don't know what the Lions are thinking about him because the Lions had a lot of injuries last year that really impacted their season, so they may be trying to keep all their guys.
Yeah, but that's why with them you hit them up, you hit them with some picks.
Yeah, and both players, I'm not giving anything more than a fifth because we've already traded our third. So they want a five. I'm in. The same like Kenneth Walker, you can get him for a fifth or a sixth for sure.
Man, you did, man. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Now, if we have the assumption and we think that we can get Kenneth Walker the third for a fifth for sure, and they don't already have him, that's a problem to me.
Well, we finna find out. Training camp is finna start. They're gonna start looking at these guys. It's probably in the games like I said, this training camp for running backs, they're not being taken to the ground. You're not getting a real good look. You're just gonna be looking at, are they hitting the right gaps? Just stuff like that. But it's gonna be kind of hard to judge those guys in training camp. Now the games, the preseason games, are gonna count, but you're only playing 3, so you ain't gotta,
Man, but see, like I was saying, the running backs, it's gonna be hard to judge them because you have a good offensive line, which I think that overall for the Cowboys this year, that's the unit that turned around the most, and they're not even getting talked about a lot. But usually it's because they putting in work and you haven't seen them, and so they put in the work. Like I think that Tyler Guyton gonna do a 360. I think that when Tyler Guyton hit the field, I feel like it's not gonna be a lot of talk about Tyler Guyton because he's gonna be doing his job, and I feel like our offense gonna be looking good because our offensive line gonna be looking good, and specifically our run game gonna be looking good because our offensive line they gonna be able to run block way better than last year. Especially with the addition of the guard that we got, Tyler Booker, right? It's not gonna be it's gonna be hard to stop our run game. We're gonna
Yep.
probably have one of the best offensive lines in the league, probably like top 5, top 10. And then
So shout out to Lou. I've watched his last couple of videos about the offensive line, top notch work. And then, Boss Cowboy today, he was talking about he really thinks the key to the running backs. He agrees with you that the offensive line is just going to carry the day, and the backs are going to be okay. I told him I'm more pessimistic than you are because I just think the Cowboys, they've always had a dynamic, a star running back. You can't look at any Cowboy team that has won, even in your generation, where they just didn't have, a good back. You saw, DeMarco Murray. You saw, just some good backs during your generation, where we know we had, of course, Zeke at the top of the list.
I think the thing with
Marion Barber. You've seen what a good back looks like, so that I think that's the way to go.
but I
Me,
think, but see where me and where I don't agree with that is that there's nothing to say that those guys are not on our roster already. We don't know that. And then so it's just like,
Mm.
we didn't know who these guys were when they were in college. We didn't know who
No.
Marion Barber was. We didn't know who I knew who Felix Jones was, and I knew who Julius Jones was.
Well,
But
we knew who DeMarco Murray
we knew
was.
who
He
the
went to OU.
well,
Yeah, so
but
and then definitely you knew who Zeke was.
of course, but I'm saying all that to say that and the running backs in between those guys or whatever, like the good running backs, they don't have to be good in college for you to know who they are. You know what I mean? Like for instance, there's nothing saying that Jaden Blue can't rush for 1,100 yards this year. Nothing saying that.
Yeah,
Nothing
so
saying
we
that.
just we have a generational disagreement on that. So yeah,
I
but
guess so. I mean,
we gonna find out if you're right because
it's
they
just
may
like my
not do
guy.
anything at running back.
Just like the guy was saying about a couple years ago. I mean, a couple of shows ago, they came in and rushed for 1,000 yards, and he was like a veteran. He was like, did nobody expect for him to have 1,000 yards? He
And
did.
who was he?
I had to look up his name.
But look, you're a Javante Williams guy. You had him in fantasy. Now, if he bounces back from the knee,
Really,
he might be the guy.
I'm okay with. I'm okay. Like I like Lou is not okay with Blue. I'm okay with Blue. I feel like Blue and Mafa and Javante Williams. I feel like when you open up the holes for them, I feel like Jaden Blue, you open up the hole for Jaden Blue, he can take it to the house at any given time. And I feel like with Phil Maffa, if you give him the ball on a goal line or 3rd and 1 like you should, he's going to get that yard every single time. I feel
Yep.
like if you need to give Jaden Blue the ball out the backfield and throw him on a swing pass or have him run a route, he's going to catch the ball and he's gonna gash the defense every single time. I don't
Who
feel
was
like
that?
Jaden Blue. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah. I
he's gonna
mean,
catch the ball at the backfield. He's gonna be able to run routes. He's gonna be able to play the running back role as if he was a receiver. And I feel like he's gonna gash the defense every single time. And I feel
so
like that's
yeah,
just it.
we did 100 mock drafts. We took Blue in the 5th and 6th round, and we took Trayvon Henderson and Quishon Judkins, and shout out to him. Hope he got in trouble a couple of weeks ago or last week or whatever that was. So I like Blue. I just didn't have Blue as a feature back. What I have Blue doing is playing, some snaps in the passing game and playing a role. But I think I think your guy, if you're gonna have a starter, it's gonna be him. It's just gonna be Javante Williams. I think they're gonna absolutely look at Maffa because he got drafted,
They
and
gonna
I think
split them.
and I
They gonna
think Blue
split them.
Blue is gonna be in the mix.
I think
But
they're gonna split them, and then by game 6, it shouldn't be no question about who the feature.
Blue is gonna be better at toward the second half of the season.
No, for
I
sure.
I, I I believe that.
I mean, if we had Bayshaw Tutin, he would be the feature back. If we had Damian
Or
Martinez,
Devin, if we had drafted Devin Neal, he was right there. Now
and
we
it
had,
ain't,
you had us drafting the back in the third round and went to the Steelers. What was his name?
yeah,
Uh,
Caleb Williams.
he would have been your starter.
Johnson, Jake Caleb Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah,
but like I'm saying, just like how everybody was criticizing me and everybody was talking crazy when I was telling them that there is no reason why what's the name shouldn't be drafted in the first round, and he might be better than Bijan in
who?
his first year. Um, what's my guy from Detroit? Jameer Gibbs.
Oh yeah, you
So
really like Gibbs.
yeah, and I was telling everybody was just like, there's no way he gonna be as good as Bijan Robinson, because Bijan Robinson is a one in a lifetime player. That's just not true. You
Mm,
don't know that. He came into the league and he was just as good as Bijan Robinson.
yeah.
Because I mean that's just the nature of the league. It's just like depending on where you go, depends on how
So
good
the
you are.
question I would have for you is, just look at it this way: if you had Gibbs or Bijan on your team, what is your role for Blue? Because that's what Blue would be. He would just be, the Robin to their Batman. That's basically what he would be,
That's
and
what he
that's what I expect him to be. Now
yeah.
we got a lot of people out there talking about Blue is, Tony Dorsett and all this stuff. Nobody thinks that. I just think Blue is going to be a part of what we do, and
Mhm.
he's going to have a chance to make some big plays because if you get him up in space, you're not going to be able to cover him or catch him.
And that's why I was saying in our previous video that the NFL, the way that the running backs are, yeah, he has to
Mhm.
fix his fumbling
Yeah,
problem. That's what I was saying about the way that the running backs are utilized in today's NFL. There shouldn't be a situation where Blue is the feature back. That's the problem. The problem is that that we're looking at him to be the feature back. The
yeah,
problem
we
is
shouldn't be doing that.
we shouldn't be doing that. The Cowboys have us in that situation because they've ignored the position.
Yeah,
That
they had in the 23, 24, and 25 draft, our starting running back was left on the board
we should
for the
not be
last 3 years.
we should not be sitting here after this draft saying that the best running back that we've drafted in the last 5 or 6 years is named Jaden Blue.
Yeah, it's
We
there.
should not we should not be sitting here saying that the last the last best running back that we draft we got
And
in the bottom of the 8th or 9th round. That should not be being
and I
said.
can already tell you next year we got to take a back in the first or second round.
We say that every
Again,
year.
but when you do that, you can mess up your draft because you drafting for need. But I'm gonna go back to what you and I were talking about earlier today. We talked about some of our videos. I'm gonna do a lot of what would Jimmy do, what would Tom Landry do. If Tom Landry was coaching this team, he would absolutely have a role for Blue, but he would just build him. It would be like a gradual thing. He would just kind of get him ready, and by the end of the season, if he was playing for Tom Landry, he would be just kind of ready to come in and do his thing and play. He Tom Landry didn't when he drafted Tony Dorsett. He was a Heisman Trophy winner. Dorsett started, I think it was his sixth game. That's when he started, and from there, he just took off, but he didn't start him.
Well, I know that they would be. I know that if they let this season go, and the reason that we don't succeed is because of the running back situation. Then I mean, you know what? This front office, man, it's just really the Achilles heel of this team.
Yeah.
They should really be trying to trade for a defensive tackle, and they really should be trying to trade for a running back. They should be using 5th and 6th round picks for running backs and DTs, and they should be doing that now. Along with they should be paying Micah now. After TJ got his money today, they should be signing Micah now. There is nothing else to wait on. There is nothing else to say well, we can do this, and we can wait on this and see what the market
They,
says.
they still trying to sign Easy Donovan Izuruku, because what happened there is there were some other teams. They signed their second round picks to guaranteed contracts. That kind of slowed the signings down. But what's happening now, a lot of the second round picks are signing. So we should see Easy get signed, which is going to be great for him. And the thing about Micah that I kind of, it's really a positive thing. If Micah doesn't get signed immediately and he's not doing all those drills, they're just going to be more snaps for Izuruke and some of them other guys to get in there. I want
Hey,
to
Hoodie, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Hoodie, put your
link to your channel.
put the link to your channel in here. Because we was looking for it the other day. Put the link to your channel in here. Let's see, and then let's see. It says, "Let's come to terms."
Yeah, so I want to ask why let's come to terms that owners don't know what they're doing or concerned about NFL football operations.
Yeah, we can.
So the
definitely.
question I have for JVB boy and Hoodie is, if Michael goes to camp, do you see him participating in those drills? I just can't see him doing that. And we talked about it on our show a couple of weeks ago. We actually were at a camp with Micah, and his agent was there too. So we got to see Micah, and he's in terrific shape. I know everybody says, everybody's in great shape. That's what they say, best shape ever. But he really is in the best shape ever. And then but I can't imagine him and his agent are going to be okay with him doing drills at camp.
Yeah,
Are you going to Shatur?
that was at the thing right there, y'all.
With the little dog, yeah.
Yeah, nah, I was talking to Michael for a while, and then I was talking to David Mulugeta for a while too. And to
Yeah.
be honest with y'all, I was talking to David Mulugeta, and I didn't even know who he was.
Mm-mm.
I was talking to him. I thought he was Michael's best friend. That's what I thought. And I was just talking to him about random stuff, about random sports, and we were talking about dogs, and we were just talking about random stuff. But I didn't even realize until I left that was David Mulugeta, because like we're about the same height, about the same weight. He just looked like a regular guy, and I didn't even realize that was David Mulugeta. That was Darth Vader himself.
So what you were saying earlier is on point. Usually when they have these contract negotiations, they try to put out bad stuff in the press about the player. They did Dez like that. They do this thing where they just try to put this negative press out there. They kind of did it a little bit with CD. You remember the Zeke Who thing. They also try to say players are not in shape. It's all different types of things that they say about players. But
with Dak, they did the girl suing him and all that.
Yeah, they brought that out.
I gotta get my charger real quick.
Okay, so with Micah, they really can't do that, folks. He checks all the boxes. He's in great shape. He does great work in the community, which we were at a community event that he was at. It was a kids camp for special needs kids. Put on by our cousin Colin Simmons with UT, the freshman of the year last year. So Micah checks all the boxes, so they can't criticize Micah, and he's going to be at camp. By him saying he's going to be at camp, he's put them in a very uncomfortable situation. So they're going to have to pay up. They're going to pay him. So it's just a matter of when they're going to do it. And the contract just keeps going up. But hey, if they want to, this is the way they handle business. Unfortunately for Cowboy fans, the way they handle business, it's prohibited them from doing certain things. Because this is really the first year that they've had, a better cap. In the years prior to this, they really kind of put themselves in a corner. Although there were ways to get around it, and they just didn't even try to do it.
Well, let's be clear about one thing too. I don't even want to make it seem like, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't want to make it seem like they just were in a better cap. They were in a better cap situation this year because this is something that they did. They were in a better cap situation this year by default because they did absolutely nothing the last 2 or 3 years, and they signed players. So they didn't do anything spectacular, like Howie with the Eagles. They didn't do anything outside of the box. They weren't innovative. They literally put their fans and their team through a torturous season by not doing anything in the offseason, and then by letting veterans that were the soul of this team go and not doing anything to resign them. And so they put us through that. And we knew that following that, this would happen. Of course, if you don't do anything for a few years, you're gonna have a good situation in the in it's for the salary cap. But the thing is, this is the thing, guys. They could have the situation is that they're in now with the salary cap. They could have been in this situation 2 years ago.
Oh yeah,
So
they
it's
could
not.
have. Yeah, part of the 30-year drought is that we're going to talk about is the cap, just the way they've just totally mismanaged it. I was tweeting with someone else. We were talking about the top Cowboy coaches of all time.
Yeah.
I never count Dave Campo, and the reason I don't count Campo is because Dave Campo has the rings. He was a defensive coordinator when they won their last championship. Okay, he's a quality coach. But when they hired him, they basically, as a front office, they just went on vacation. They had one whole draft where they didn't even draft. They just traded down in each round, and they said they were drafting for special teams. No NFL team will tell you they drafting for special teams. So with Dave Campo, for 3 years, they flat out didn't do anything with the draft. The salary cap was horrible. So I
You know,
can't tell you that Jason Garrett was a better coach than Dave Campo. He wasn't, but Dave Campo just wasn't even given a chance to just have a valid team.
you know what? Our number one, as Cowboy fans and as Cowboy players, our number one rival is the front office. It's not the Eagles, it's not the Commanders, it's not the Steelers, it's not anything. It's just the front office. They're the ones that be holding this team back for 30 years.
Oh yeah, that's you put that. I mean that's a statement right there, which is true for a lot of Cowboy fans that the front office is the rival. I was going to say the enemy, but that's probably too strong. But yeah, this front office, man, Cowboy fans, we've just gone round and round with this front office. And this year in the off season, you got to give them credit. The Pickens trade, still can't believe they did it. You got to give them credit for that. They did a couple of other good things, some good signings. I like the Murray signing and some other things, but they still got to get the last two dominoes. They got to play. They still got some things to do. And
Shout out to
we
my
know we.
cousin. Shout
Hey,
out to
what's up, Mike?
Philadelphia Eagles. Speaking of the Eagles, this is like when we think about the Eagles, we think about all these other teams when it comes to their drafting and who they should sign and what their needs are. We know pretty much who they're going to draft. We can see it. Like when like when we're watching the Eagles draft, we say, "Hey, they're about to do this, or they're about to do this. They're going to draft this guy because we know that they're going to draft this guy." But when it comes to the Cowboys, we say they should draft Caleb Johnson right now. This is it. That should be the pick. But something crazy happens where they don't. So it's just like, we have to navigate around the front office. And like you just said, what my dad just said, when the front office does the right things, we benefit from it. Like this year, they did a lot of the right things with signing Pickens. We're gonna benefit from that. Like when they signed Murray, they signed a lot of the players that they signed this offseason. They're gonna be good. And it's not going to be a old golly gee, wow, they're good all of a sudden. It's going to be like, no, they did what they had to do this offseason. And because of that, they're better. Yeah, Jahad Campbell. When we seen that the Eagles were gonna when we seen that Jahad Campbell was on the board, I knew off top that that's who they were gonna draft. We knew that. I mean, it's no reason for him to be on the board right there. And we know the Eagles and their tendencies. They're gonna draft the best player available right now, and it's Jahad Campbell. And that's what they did. And I was surprised that the Eagles didn't get what's his name, Sanders. I was surprised that they didn't do that because something that the Eagles would do. Uh,
The Sanders, who you talking about?
what's the name? The quarterback, Deion Sanders' son.
Oh, Shador.
I'm surprised that the Eagles didn't draft Shador because I mean, that's something that the Eagles do. You know, they had Nick Foles, and he won a championship. I was thinking that they was gonna draft Shador. And I was thinking
Yeah.
like, man, you know, Jalen Hurts is gonna be after he leaves, it's gonna be Shador.
So we're
So
gonna try to hook up with Mike before the Eagles game, and then Mike can talk about his new book. So congratulations on your new book, Mike. So
yeah,
we can
congratulations
promote that.
on your book. We gotta promote that. And then we was talking about going to a game with your dad, me and your dad too, you and your dad too. So I guess we gotta talk about that too.
Hmm. Yeah.
Uh
So, but yeah, the
yeah.
Eagles they just done a good job with drafting and the way they manage their cap. And typically, in business, what we did, the company I work for, we just looked at whoever was doing a good job and we went and talked to those people, and
Oh
we
yeah,
kind of.
speaking of, I didn't mean to interrupt. Yeah, Mike, we gotta pull up in Houston. We gotta go down there and pull up on them one time before school and all that start back in August. We gotta just figure out a way to go down there for whatever. Just go to Galveston or something. But we gotta pull up on the Houstonians one time. Go ahead.
Yep. So shout out to the Houston fam. But yeah, so we got a lot of stuff going on, things that we're gonna be trying to do with the show coming up in the next few weeks or so, working on a few things. So you got the rebranding of our show going on, with the name change, and hopefully people are kind of picking up on that. And I changed my Twitter thing. I don't even know if you saw it.
I didn't, but some people did pick up on it because we got some shout outs in the building today where they were saying shout out to Father and Son podcast.
Okay. Okay.
So we appreciate that and everybody that's watching and everybody that's coming through, especially our family and especially the ones that's been with us since day one. But yeah, the
Our
front office,
videos, we getting a lot of views on our videos.
cool, Mike. Yeah, we getting a lot of views on our videos, on our shorts. We getting thousands of views, like thousands and thousands. But it's cool though. So we gonna keep going up. But the front office, we always gotta work around the front office. This front office has been, 30-year drought. It's been because of the front office. That's no other reason. It's not because of Dak. It's not because of Tony Romo. It's not because of any of that. It's because of the front office and the way that they handle things, the way that they handle the cap, the way that they handle player acquisition, the way that they handle trades, and the way that they handle everything. And so the way that they handle practice, the way that they handle the preseason, the way that they handle the hiring practices, hiring of coaches, the way
Mm.
that they handle everything. And so I don't want to discourage people because I will say like this: when the front office does good, we do good, and when they don't do good, we don't do good. So it's just like they have this off season, they've done better than they've done in the previous years. So I would expect for us to have a better season than we have had in the previous years. My only concern is that when we get to the playoffs, are we going to be able to get past the second game? To me, that's the only thing that matters. It's kind of like when the Rangers are playing the Astros, or when the Rangers made it to the World Series. That's fine and all. They're a great team, but can they beat the Astros when it counts? That's the only thing that matters, and that's what they did. And after that, the rest of the World Series was easy. We got over that. It's just like, I would say the first year with the Mavericks, it was the Clippers. It's like when they get to playoff P, can they beat him? When they get to them, can they beat them? And when they got the Clippers up out of there that first time, or when they won a championship and they got the Lakers up out of there, when they got the Lakers up out of there, it was just like, okay, they got the Lakers up out of there. So the Heat and all them, they're not gonna be no problem because we got that. So it was just like, can Shotty overcome? Yes, can the Shotty overcome Jerry and Steven? Shout out to you, Uncle Squeak. And we got to get you on the show Sunday. I think we got to do a show Sunday or whenever you're available. Yes, can the Shotty overcome Jerry and Steven? Nobody's been able to do it, not even Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett was a part of them. So yes, can Shotty overcome Jerry and Steven? That is the crux. That is the question of the hour. That should be the topic of our next title to our next show. Can Shotty overcome Jerry and Steven? And we're gonna see the first domino falling with, are they gonna start the season without a defensive tackle? Are they gonna start the season without a veteran cornerback? Are they gonna start the season without with a running back by committee? If they do all three of those things, the answer is no, that he can't overcome them. But right now it's looking like he can, because we know that Shotty spearheaded the signing of Pickens. Okay, cool. So there you go. I can't
So
lie. Let's see what Mike said.
yeah,
I can't lie. That first season, I feel like y'all can shock the world. Not I feel like this is the first season. I feel like y'all can shock the world. You know, and I reserve that feeling. I want to feel like that, but I don't want to be biased because we're a Cowboy show, so I don't want to. I feel like that too. But I mean,
yeah.
we have
Well,
to see.
it's all come down next week. Training camp starting, so we're coming out of this they call the dead period. So it's gonna be a lot of fun just covering it, and we're gonna be on pretty much every day doing camp. Just looking to see if the Lion has the gun, Micah has the gun. So we're gonna see what he's gonna do. Is he gonna come to practice and do the drills? And I wouldn't. And if he gonna, what is he gonna do? Because it's gonna be just interesting to see. But I wouldn't be shocked if they just get something done in the next week and a half. And that thing that happened today with T.J. Watt, it just ups the ante, and they got to figure it out. But Micah and his agent, I just don't think they're worried about it. They ain't concerned. They
Mm-mm.
they hold the upper hand, and now it's on Steven and Jerry. Brian Brothers, shout out to him. He's been saying that his understanding is Steven is the one that's not happy with the way this has been handled. He seems to suggest to me that Steven has wanted to get it done. That's kind of what Broadus is saying. I'm not. We'll see about that, but I kind of thought that Steven had kind of taken over for the most part, but it kind of seems like maybe Steven is not happy that they haven't got a gun. I really think you know Steven and Jerry, they like Micah too. That's putting them in a situation, in a bind. That right there itself. He's not a guy that they just like Micah.
Yeah, he'll make more than what.
Oh, absolutely, he's gonna make more than Watt. So he's gonna get a 4-year deal. He's gonna make more than Watt. I think Watt got 103 guaranteed. Micah's gonna make more than that, and so
I
that's
think Micah contract gonna be guaranteed in full.
well, we heard about that part of it about a week ago. We'll see. I just think what's going to end up happening is the compromise. He just going to get more guaranteed than anyone has ever gotten, including Dak and some other quarterbacks.
And we see that what he was saying was probably true too, because they said TJ Watt did was so short. So I heard they was getting caught up on the years, and that's probably for real because you see how TJ Watt got so short. They probably
Hmm.
want Micah to ink 5 or 6, and Micah like, nah, I want 3 or 4.
Well, yeah, he wants 4, and then that way he'll be able to get another mega deal. So that's kind of how it's gonna go down. We can go ahead and wrap.
Yeah, but I want everybody to. I don't want to. I want to take all of the focus off of Micah's contract and put it on the needs that we still need. Micah gonna get his contract and he gonna play. He gonna have a good year. We need to worry about defensive tackle, cornerback, and running back. That's what we need to worry about. So I feel like the content creators. Well, I feel like we got to Jerry and Steven this past year because when they did nothing that last off season, everybody went off and everybody start talking start going off and saying we don't want to hear this no more the pie stuff. And we haven't heard Steven say nothing like that ever since. He ain't said nothing like that. He ain't mumbled nothing like that.
They've both been low key. They've been low key on Micah. They have not said anything
Mm,
about Micah about the negotiations. Nothing.
mm-mm. I
That's not
mean,
that's not
that's
that's not
not
normal
normal.
for them.
Yeah, just like how we seen Jerry talking to Micah the other day at practice. We don't normally see that.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be must watch TV the first couple of days of camp. See if he's gonna do the drills. That's the thing I want to see. I wouldn't if I was him. I'm sure that's what his agent what they're thinking, but we'll see. So we can go ahead and wrap, and we'll probably be on Sunday because Saturday we're gonna be probably tied up. But yeah, we'll let you guys know when we're coming back.
Yeah, we'll be back. We'll let you all know when we come back. We right. This is the calm before the storm because we kind of chilling because next week when training camp start, we're gonna be hitting it every day. So we finna go on our training camp campaign just like they are. So we gonna hit it hard in this next week. So we'll probably be back Sunday to get ready to launch the start of the rebranding and the training camp, and it's finna go down. So after this week, y'all can look for us for every day. So we'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all make sure that y'all if you're not subscribed, make sure that you subscribe and tell a friend to subscribe. And remember, this is a father and son content. So we talk about more than just Cowboys. We talk about the NFL in general. We talk about all the teams. So y'all make sure that y'all like and subscribe, and we appreciate everybody coming out. We'll see y'all on the next one.